over the course of this Club World Cup and even having won the Conference League as well over the last 2 months in terms of credit in the bank with this fan base, because I think there were some that were just as skeptical as the rest of us going, is this going to work? Is he going to finally be the man that turns Chelsea around, that develops some of these individual players? And some of those individual players turned in magnificent performances throughout this game and throughout this tournament. Think of Enzo Fernandez in midfield. The way that his role has evolved has been tremendous. Reece James playing in midfield, moving from right back so you can play Malo Gusto. And there's from the front all the way on back, I think you saw so many individual performances get better over the course of the tournament. And we will look back on that loss to Flamengo where they're pretty soundly outplayed in the group stage as kind of the outlier, but otherwise beat a couple of Brazilian teams on the way and then saved their best performance for last. They were ready on the final day, and Maresca, I think, wins all sorts of credit here by getting it right against this opponent. It's not just you beat, let's just say they played, I don't know, Borussia Dortmund or even Bayern. It's PSG, the team that we spent 4 days talking about how this is the dynasty of the future. And in 4 days, you're able to figure out how to beat them with all the craziness of being in New York and the publicity.
How on earth did they manage this? Because we were talking with Alex about this game yesterday on the show, and I was saying I couldn't really see any other way for Chelsea to get a result from this, that it was going to be another comfortable PSG victory, given the fact that Bayern Munich managed to put in a good performance against PSG earlier on in this competition, didn't manage to win it. Botafogo did beat the Parisians, but other than that, didn't really see much of a way for Chelsea to be able to get past them, but they produced a perfect game plan.
And go back to the Champions League final, they beat Inter 5-0, they beat Real Madrid 4-0 in the semi-final, they beat Atletico 4-0 in the group stage, and they just were on their way, and we were talking about them as the next great dominant team, as on the level as Pep's Barcelona in 2009 and 2011. And instead they go and lose to Chelsea in convincing fashion. Chelsea did everything right to negate this team. The possession figures look one way, but this is a different game from 3-0, especially in the second half. The way that Chelsea controlled things in the first half, they were able to take advantage of the vulnerabilities that are only theoretically there against PSG, in my opinion.
Having won this, how does it change their expectations? I mean, maybe it changes the fans' expectations, but as a group and the manager, Enzo Maresca, what they feel will be success for next season?
I think they vaulted themselves today into the conversation to go and win the Premier League next season. I don't think before today there was really any kind of expectation that they would be up there on the level with Liverpool in the league last year, with Manchester City, and even with Arsenal. But I think today, by winning this game in this fashion against that opponent, you cannot help but think going forward, this might have been the turning point that Chelsea had been waiting for. We know they've spent over $1 billion on this team and that they have so much talent and they keep bringing in more talent and spending and spending and spending. And at some point it was going to work. This might finally be the point where it starts to work.